Nation, one way or another. Still building the plane while it's in the air. But I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Let's grind, baby. Turn me up. All right. Come on. Right. I see y'all, man. Shout out to all the HBOs, the SGs up in the house. Let's go. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in. My name is Law Nation. I will be your host for tonight. This is the nightcap show, basically. Cowboy Nation, got a lot of things that we got going on, right? Oh, what are they, Law? What is going on? What is going on? Well, we got some visitors that's going to be here. We got even people buying property over here in Dallas, well, Frisco area, that's in this draft. And we got a lot of things that's going on. This team, we got the NFC East. Man, people say the NFC East is the NFC least, but man, oh man, this division, they are trying to craft things together. They're trying to work things out. They're trying to be each other up and these sorts of things. So it's crazy. Shout out to the Washington team. Shout out to the Eagles team. Shout out to the Giants team. They still looking up regardless of the situation, but we got to be prepared, right? We bringing in tomorrow DeMonte Kazee. He's coming in to visit basically, and Jerry got to rub his magic in on it, right? We already signed Neil. We signed him, and then we bringing in Malik Hooker. They supposed to be arriving. They supposed to already be in Dallas as of now, but they will meet up at the Star tomorrow. Now, Jerry going to have to work his Jerry magic. In my opinion, he's going to have to figure out a way to get all of those guys to agree. And so we can be looking into this draft with fresh eyes. So we won't have to be looking into this draft and saying, okay, let's reach. No. You already want to have those pieces put into place, right? Right? Really appreciate everybody, man. Let me see who the first person up in here. Brandon, appreciate you. Natasha, really appreciate you for jumping in. Sabian, appreciate you for being part of the nation, as well as the people that putting the fire in there. Dak better be ready. This is from Clay. He got to be ready. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Clay says J.C. Jackson. Screw that second-round pick. That's what I'm talking about. It's a lot to go in with that. You know, a lot of people like to go back and forward and back with the J.C. Jackson situation. And here's the thing, too. Some people don't want other items until someone else wants it. They call it the Jones effect, believe it or not. Some people will look at an item, an article, or a piece of gear, and they don't value it until someone else wants it. But newsflash. A Gucci belt can do the exact same thing as a Walmart belt, right? But people value the Gucci belt better because of the name, for sake, because it's a name. But the responsibility for the belt is to hold said pants up. But people attach volumes or value, I guess you could say that, to a certain article or to a certain thing because they feel that other people want it. But in the reality, it's still the same, right? It's a belt, for crying out loud. But that's just how it goes. And until there's a people that's putting tenders out for J.C. Jackson, a lot of people will not value him. People will look at only the negative or only the things that they really can't see. Appreciate you, Mark44. Thank you for jumping in. Y'all listen to Rue, man. Y'all listen to Rue, man. He said, hit that like button. It's one of those things, Cowboy Nation, whereas where this team is going and where this team is headed is in a different direction. It's similar pathway of what we did last offseason, but I would look at it as a little bit better. And I think that the clear picture or the picture is a whole lot better than what it was last year. Last year around this time, there still was the pandemic that was just creeping on, and a lot of people didn't know whether or not the season was going to be here and these sorts. And on top of that, when you look at everything, when you look at the picture of everything, they try to bring in a new philosophy as it relates to defense, 3-4 opposed to a 4-3, or was it going to be a hybrid? So it was a lot of moving parts. Appreciate everybody for hitting that like and that thumbs up, and shout out to all of the stars. So it was a lot of moving parts last year. And with that being said, we was looking at it like, when is this going to change, or how is this going to benefit moving one style of defense over to the other style of defense? Will this stuff blend together? Will it be something that we can look back at and say, all right, cool, this will work? It just didn't work that way for us last year. It didn't. But there was some growth in that. How did we grow from there, right? What happened? What did we learn from last year? Sometimes you learn more from your failure than your success. See, what we learn, collectively speaking, is that, yes, even though you have the team that can put up 30 points, even though you have a team that like that, you can put up 40 points, it doesn't mean a hill of beans if you can't stop anybody. And I know that you can point the finger, you got 3 pointed back at you and say, well, it's the offense. Well, if you ask any person that played defense, and if you go to them and say, hey, regardless of when the end comes, if your offense put up 30 points, if your offense put up 35 points, do you win that game? Defense is going to be like, we won that game. We're going to win it all, baby. Shout out to you, Jay Lombardi. Appreciate you for jumping in. J.C. Horn, speaking of J.C. Horn, Jay, he did recently purchase or liked property in Frisco. I don't know if he got the crystal ball there, but if he's a cornerback that the Dallas Cowboys would like to entertain in the draft, I would not be mad at it, right? I would not be mad at it. Although I'm on record saying, hey, give me J.C. Jackson, right, instead of J.C. Horn. But if it's J.C. Jackson or if it's J.C. Horn, because we haven't heard anything about J.C. Jackson outside of my opinion, if it's J.C. Horn, I can look at it and say to myself, man, he's a dog, man. I like his skill set. I love his ability. I like what he brings to the table. All of those good things. I really do, Cowboy Nation. Let me put the chat box up here on the screen. I really appreciate everybody for being part of the show. And I thank you guys when y'all subscribe. Y'all hit that notification bell. There's no rhyme or reason when I jump live. It's just when I get my house in order, I can get things going, right? My man Horn. This is from Akeem. Yeah. Akeem, that man Horn, he's still nasty now. I like him. I flat out like him. Now, this other kid, Caleb Farley, I like Caleb. I really do. But the problem is with Caleb is that we're hearing all of this news about surgery here, and you got to nick that, and you got to push this to the side. You got to move that around. It's a lot of stuff that's going on with that, right? So it's a difficult and a tough pill to swallow. It is, Cowboy Nation. Regardless of how we look at it, I'm sitting here like, man, I don't have time to be a rehabilitation camp. I don't have time to be one of those organizations that like to rehab players, right? And for many of years, we've been that, especially with the first and second pick. We always say, okay, wait for this happen, and we're going to put a Band-Aid over this, and we're going to put a Band-Aid over that. and let's listen to
With
105.3
Caleb
Fan.
Farley, what was interesting is this one team told me about him. They love his ability. They love his speed. They don't like his football knowledge.
Oh, he hasn't been studying.
Oh, that'll get you.
Yeah.
That'll get you.
And the questions that were arise was that in these Zoom meetings, they were talking to him about some X's and O's stuff. And they came away with the impression they were surprised at the lack of knowledge that he actually had for the position. It's the guy told me, he's like, I get it. I watched tape. This guy is a baller. He's got the ability. He's got the athletic ability. He's got the speed. He's got everything you want, the temperament about it. But the X's and O's part of it, he really doesn't have a very good grasp of that.
Okay, the first thing that comes to mind is that conversation we had about Dion. And was it Dave Campo who said, we got Dion in here. We had big plans for talking to him about the scheme. And he was like, no, just point me to the other team's best player. I'll cover him. You handle the rest. To what extent can you do that with other players? Is that a Dion-only situation?
I think there's other guys in the history of the league that could do that.
Well, let me interject before they go into their wonderful soliloquy here. My thing is, knowledge is king when you're playing on the defensive side of the ball. I do know that there's another thing called instinct. The best way that I can use an analogy for this, are you guys big movie buffs like me? I really, really love to watch movies. Let me know if you guys are in the comment box. Are you guys really high on movies? Because there was this particular movie that came out many a moons ago. Let me drink my good drink over here while I see your comments in the bottom there. Just give me a thumbs up if you love movies and if you got a good recall of movies. I am Chuck. So appreciate you, Chuck. My thing is, Chuck, there's this movie many a moons ago named Drumline. It came out Drumline. I believe Nick Cannon played in that movie, and he was very, very talented in that movie. He had the ability to play, but he could only play off of what he hears, and then he would ad-lib, but he didn't really know how to really read the music sheet. And the movie, he was spectacular. He was wonderful. But that was his kryptonite, basically, or his Achilles heel. Shout out to you, Michael Osborne. Yes, I love that movie. But the whole nature of the movie was that this kid was so brilliant, so talented, so wonderful, that other colleges was like, hey, we'll fight for him. I'm paraphrasing. It's been a minute since I've seen the movie. It's a classic. That's what Jay Lombardi says. Okay. Chuck, Nick Cannon, Thomas Garrett. So do you guys remember what happened in that movie? He was one of those guys that could really play his you-know-what off of those drums, right? But the problem is he could not read music. Football is similar. Football is very, very similar in a sense because you got to know how to read the opposition. You got to know how to understand and pick up what the team is trying to do, and you got to be able to take that away. And especially in football, it's this chess, not checkers, and they will figure out the tendencies. They will see where your drop foot is at. They will see actually where you like to line up on the hash. It's so many things that go into details. It's the small things. It's the small things that goes into details as it relates to football, and where you're going to line yourself at on the field. And if you're not able to understand the concepts of what, hey, this is this personnel, this is what happened, this is the responsibility, these are the eligible wide receivers according to where they lined up, these are the guys that's going to come out of the release. And if you're not able to pick this up, if you're not able to understand that concept where they're going to rest that on the field, it could be very detriment to your team. Yeah, Two Faces of Evil. I like that name, by the way. Keanu O'Neal. Yeah, he's a ballers. Yeah, he played Instincts. Yeah, Thomas Garrett. That movie was dynamic. I'm going to tell you another movie. And I just mentioned The Little Things, right? There's an actual movie called The Little Things, and it's starring Denzel Washington. Great movie, by the way. It's the little things. I don't want to spoil the movie because it just recently came out, but it was the little things that if you miss the little things, whether it be a small barrette, right, or a pair of snakeskin boots, you would miss the whole entire movie if you can't develop the context and add the clues together. It's like a mystery of the mystery to see what's going on within the movie. So my thing is, or what happened towards the end of the movie, to figure out who killed who. And I'm not going to tell you all about the movie, but it was the little things. You see, football players, they've studied the little things. What makes you tick? Can I talk about your mama? Can I talk about your uncle? Can I talk about your great auntie with the one leg? Those type of things. And of course, I know it's personal, but I'm trying to win a game. This is the difference between me making $400,000 a year or me making $40 million a year. You see what I'm saying? So it's the little things that you got to be crafty enough to be able to pick these things up and take it for that victory. And baby, I'm telling you, it's crazy. You got to pay attention to details. But let's listen to more what they have to say. It's fundamentals, yeah. So if Caleb Farley is struggling with that, newsflash, these NFL teams, they will find out sooner than later. They will.
I think that Caleb Farley isn't necessarily that. I think he has the athletic ability to become that, and that's what everybody loves about him. I think if you picked Caleb Farley in the top 10, you're making a very risky pick.
It's risky,
because he didn't run a ton of man coverage at Virginia Tech, and when he did, it was up and down. When he's at his best is there's a football in the air downfield, and he's going to get it, and you're like, holy cow, look at the closing speed, look at the burst, look at this athleticism. But in the top 10, you're picking athleticism?
So if a guy isn't blessed to cover and doesn't have a great track record in college, you really need him to have a good understanding of the game. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and that's where it leads us to when you're talking about guys like Surtain at Alabama. They will tell you that he doesn't run as well,
but he knows
he can play off and he can play up tight. But they're saying also, listen, he's going to run well enough because he's been training for this 40, so the time is not going to be bad. But if you watch him play, there are some limitations with him and his speed. They clearly say that.
That's why I say, man, pay attention to those 3-cone drills, man. Pay attention to those opposed in the shuffle. Pay attention to those other drills opposed to looking into that 40 time. 40 time is always, subjective in a sense, because you really, how often would you run a straight, in football? It's a lot of zig and the zag and foolery stuff going on with that. And you're not going to run a straight too many times. I'm more of the aspect of quickness, short area quickness at that. Even in a fight, you can be the fastest person in life, but if your short area quickness is not there, you're going to lose that fight, fam. If you can't stick and move, bro, you're going to lose. As soon as somebody grab you. Like I say, man, I believe I'm quick enough to give Shaq a run for his money. I hit him about 50 times until he grabbed me, and it's over with. You might as well go ahead and sing the song, man. Law was a good guy, man, but he was winning. He gave Shaq those 2-piece and combos and a biscuit. But man, when Shaq grabbed him, man, it was over with, man. And they start singing Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Oh my goodness, they gonna bury him, and that's just what it is. Your short area quickness is what you need, and that's what Patrick Surtain, he got some short area quickness. Now he's kind of like not the fastest thing out there. Jay Stehorn is not as well, but those guys, they understand and they come from the game. Their fathers probably was teaching them the game. Like the series Power, teach me the game, Ghost. Their father was like Ghost. He taught them the game, right? So it's one of those things. Thomas Garrett says hit and run. You got to. You live to fight another day. You hit a big boy like Shaq, but you can't miss. You got to hit him and run. I believe there's an excerpt about how Jimmy Johnson spoke of the same thing. When you face it against that 4,000, 5,000-pound gorilla, you got to pick up something, the biggest object you can find, and hit him with it and run like hell. You know, Jimmy knew. And everybody, whoever seen Jimmy Johnson in real life, he ain't no big statue of a guy, right? He's a little old bitty dude. You be like, is that Jimmy Johnson? You know, that's Jimmy. You know, who's taller, Mickey Spagnola or Jimmy Johnson? Y'all put that in the chat box, man. But you know how that goes. Somebody gonna say Mickey.
Everybody to the Gang of Seven, like, he's the most polished of the guys. He's the one that is, you know, the dad was an all-pro. He's been around it. It's important. Oh, and by the way, with Farley, if I can go back to that one real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Dad's really involved in a negative way there, by the way. That's another thing I learned about him.
Here we go. We're just
kind of a LeVar Ball type of figure.
Well, dad is involved to the point of pulling him here, taking him here, doing this, doing that. Mom passed away from cancer.
Wow.
But dad is really, really, really involved here, and as far as moving him around and doing things with him. So
you might hear from dad in the coaching department.
Yes, exactly. So keep an eye. If you start hearing whispers about father being involved, you know where you heard it first. Right.
Oh, wow.
Here. Is where you heard it.
All
Okay.
right. So then which would you prefer to take a risk on, speed or football knowledge, if you're looking to break a tie?
I would, as long as the speed is okay, I would go football knowledge. Now, there is a lack of speed where I'll DQ you from playing corner, because there is a baseline that we got to be able to reach. Otherwise, we are in trouble.
Yeah.
But that's why Caleb Farley's not my top guy at corner. He's not my number 2 guy either. Is just, I think there's a lot that's unproven. I think there's a gamble there on athletic upside. And I'm a little more comfortable with guys that I saw play football this year and that I saw play football really, really well this year. And those guys are out there. And I wonder what that's going to do to teams. Because, like, Micah Parsons, the Penn State linebacker,
Right.
his tape is of a linebacker who needs to grow in some ways, but he's in there, and he's playing in the box, and he's doing the job. Caleb Farley, he's a lot of zone coverage and off coverage, and, like, there's a lot of NFL corner things that I'm like, man, I would have really liked to have seen how he grew this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things when you look at Caleb's tape. You would say, okay, all right, he's not. I don't know if he can't press. I just know that they don't put him at press, and when he do actually press, it was just one of those situations where I don't know, because he still didn't jam, so I don't know what was called. I don't know what he was coached up to do, and that's just how it goes. When you look at cornerbacks, you got to roll with the mindset of saying, all right, if this is the situation, if this is the scenario of how this person is playing, let me see what I can do with them. That's why that combine is so important, so that when you meet them up, side by side, and you have that independent interview, you can dive deep into their mind. You can probe a little bit more. You can get more details of what they intend to do and what they're going to bring to the table. So it's so many room for there's so much room for subjectivity, of course, and also objectivity when you're looking at those two things at face value. Case in point, J.C. Jackson, undrafted in 2017. Nobody saw that, that this kid was going to go 3 interceptions his rookie year, and then the second year bring up 5 interceptions. Then his third year, he brings you a total of 9 interceptions with all of that out there and on the NFL level. You guys can give me a list of DBs that were drafted in 2017, and I can show you that they didn't get that type of results. Now, whether it be the quarterback dropping back, looking dead at J.C. Jackson and throwing it right to him or not, that is a tall glass of water, to gulp down, to say, man, hey, I'm still thirsty. No. You're going to be satisfied with that if you're looking for a player. Appreciate you, Stelios. Appreciate you so much for the donation to help elevate this thing. Really do, man. Let me give you one of these.
This is Sparta!
Yeah. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much. He says, yes, sir. Let's go.
And you can't. So he's not my top 10.
The thing that you would see about Farley is you would like the measurables, and you like the fact that the tape you saw from 19, he does get his hands on the balls.
He does.
That's the one thing. That's where it's going to be the difference. Now,
and I think that this team's going to value that.
Well, talking to people about that know what Dan Quinn and Joe Witt and those guys like, we have one corner that doesn't run particularly well.
Shout out to Younger
He runs
Charles.
well enough, but they don't play with two like that. They'll play with one. So keep an eye, but also keep an eye on this, and this is the other one. This is now the Joe Horn, or excuse me, J.C. Horn.
Yeah.
J.C. Horn.
Yeah.
Okay, we transitioned. Okay, reset real quick. We're going over Brian Broaddus's Gang of Seven and what they say about defensive backs that have been tied to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Those were good bonus words right there at the end as we transition here to J.C. Horn.
J.C. Horn is now keep an eye on him because Dan Quinn and the former coach there, Will Muschamp, are like best friends. So Dan Quinn will know every single thing about J.C. Horn. And it'll
Can I paint a picture for Gavin in the audience?
Yeah, go ahead.
Paint that picture.
My guy, J.C. Horn.
Go ahead.
A.K.A. CB1.
CB2 for me, by the way.
He's a cheater, Gavin. He's a cheater. Because
Okay.
there is no such thing as illegal well, in college football, there's no such thing as illegal contact by a corner. I mean, there is holding and there is pass interference, but there's no such thing as illegal contact, and he knows that.
Can't call it all.
Yes, and if you did want to call
Physical.
it all, you can throw a flag on him on every play, okay? I'm going to get that out of the way right now because he will grab and nudge and touch
That's
a
Legion
hip
of Boom
and-
stuff right there.
Yes, so he is a cheater on every single play. But he is also the guy at South Carolina that when you were playing an SEC schedule and you showed up to the field, they said, who's their best guy? And they would say, JC, go.
Go.
And it didn't matter. You line up on the left, the right, the slot. If it's the tight end, JC Horn's covering that dude. That's
He's
his
a
guy.
dog.
If you
Yes,
watch,
he is a dog. He plays star coverage. He has the athleticism, the tenacity.
In the SEC?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, he cheats on every play. So the only problem I have is I have to project, could he cover these guys this well if he didn't grab them?
All right, so when we get into the details, now let me talk to you guys about what my dog Kavanaugh is saying. Here's the situation. College, you can get physical beyond 5 yards, right? Basically. And they do have spot checks as relates to PI, pass interference, so it's no 40, 50-yard pass interference. In the field, and the hash marks are different, so it's a whole different environment, whereas the NFL field is a little bit, different. And I can go into details on another storyline on that. But here's the situation. What J.C. Horn will do. Baby, let me tell you what he would do. He is physical. Physical. What's the song? Let's get physical. Physical. Like, he's literally, whether it's going to be inside the slot, whether it's going to be at the boundary, whether it's going to be on the outside, whether you're going to just say, okay, JC, hey, this time I really want you to just man up the tight end, like he just witnessed and what he just said. I believe what he will do, and he like to get into your head. JC, he gonna do some talking. He gonna do some yapping at you. But this is what he likes to do. You see, football in the National Football League, they changed their ruling because good old Peyton Manning couldn't get to his wide receivers, and that was another story. And of course, people was complaining because Kurt Warner couldn't get to his wide receivers in that Super Bowl, and they were saying that my dog Ty Law, shout out to the Laws over there in Patriots land, he was just too physical. I couldn't get open. So what they did is they crafted up the rulings and the laws and changed this stuff up, and now they only give you 5 yards. And it changed since then. Back in even in 2006 and 7 and 8, at least at the top of the route, meaning that if you 12 yards out and it's just time for you to pivot and turn, well, the NFL used to allow you to get physical at the top of the route because that's now a change of direction. Because one can argue that if I'm playing with leverage and if I'm giving you the inside middle of the field and all of a sudden you cut and turn into me, guess what? I have a right to that spot. As long as I'm playing the ball, as long as I'm looking back to the ball, I have a right to outmuscle and physical, get into the way of you, and really fight for that spot of the field. We fighting for the field. But what happened is with the NFL is that they lean more towards the offense, unless you're Amari Cooper, right? They lean more towards our offense on the top of the route, and they would say, well, PI on the defense or holding on the defense. But back in the days, you can just get physical all day. I believe one of the physical, however you can say that word, the aggressive corners out there was Aeneas Williams. Do y'all remember him? Strong hands. Look at his tape. Strong hands. Appreciate you, Stelios, for making the donation to help grow this thing. He says, tighter field, horn will ball out, straight gangster. Man, I didn't want to say it, but you said it, man. Yes, indeed. So, hey, when that happened, let me see if I can find my little charm here, man.
This is Sparta!
Yes, tighter field. So my thing is, I'm looking at it like close your eyes, Cowboy Nation. Just close them real quick. Diggs, he's not a physical guy. Truth be told, he's a spacer guy. He likes to go off of your feeling, and then he guides, and he got this quick recovery speed. He's more like a hip pocket type of guy, right? So Horn on the opposite side, he'll be that physical guy. And then you got these bee stings that's going to be really hitting you like a Neal, oh my goodness, a Donovan Wilson. Ooh. And tomorrow, well, it's going to be today by the time everybody watch it, man, you're going to have out of one of them two. And I'm going to throw a party if all three of them, like I said, if they sign Hooker and Kazee. Man, that's going to be crazy, right? Because Kazee or Kazee, I think it's Kazee, right? Y'all help me out. Kazee, he's a free safety. He got some range. He got some hidden subtle speed. He's not physical. He's only 175 to 180 pounds. But I like his range and his space, and I like his instincts. But that Hooker kid, woo. just you know how that song, can he just go deep? Just play him deep. You play him deep and let him cover and survey the field. And if you got a physical corner like a Horn, and you got a guy like just all in your face like a pesky little gnat like a Diggs, man, this thing could be really just like that. Our secondary can be a whole lot better, baby. Diggs is still young. He can get the experience, yes. And Diggs is pretty good on instincts, knowing the field of the route. Why? Because his football IQ is high. Why is it high, Law? Because the kid, he was trying to be a wide receiver. He was primarily being molded to be like his brother, and he learned concepts from his brother. And I seen Diggs, and I'm talking about Trayvon Diggs versus Stephon Diggs. I seen him put him in a lock, especially it's all over Instagram and on the Twitter machine. You can see him put him in locks. Hooker is better than Kazee, bro. Yeah, Pat Teleo, yeah, Hooker is better than Kazee. But, man, if you can get both of them, two for the price of one, basically, that will at least cover the spread of the injury, right? Diggs is hungry, yeah. Hooker visit Tuesday or Wednesday. I believe Hooker will visit today. Well, Tuesday. He will visit to Tuesday. This will be his visit day. But let's listen to more what they have to say, man, and get this thing going in the best way possible. Neal can come up and play linebacker with Hooker and Wilson. Yeah. That's for my dog Thomas E. Yeah. E. Green. Yeah.
And he's athletic enough to, so I believe the answer is yes. But my guy J.C. Horn is a cheater.
Yeah.
He cheats on every play. but he is also a dog, and I love it.
He is not going to give you an inch, and Jeff's right. You could throw, if you want to just watch one tape of him play, watch the Florida game.
Watch the Auburn game. He batted out 5 balls and had 2 picks.
But I'm saying watch the Florida game when he's covering a first-round wide receiver in Tony, and watch him cover Kyle Pitts. That's all you need to see. When you watch him take a short, speedy, quick receiver and then cover a big weapon at tight end.
Kyle Pitts hated him. He's like, why are you grabbing me?
Stop. Kyle Pitts wanted nothing to do. He was.
All right, so when y'all look at that tape, I wish I could post it, but you know how that thing goes. When you look at that tape, yes, he's a nuance like that pesky little gnat that's in the barbecue. Like, get out of my face. And you swipe, and you try to swipe, you spray, and it's still flying all around you, all in your ear. And that's what J.C. Horn can do to bigger receivers as well as shifty guys. And if you look at that tape, hear me out. Don't crucify me, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to you, James. When you look at that tape, I want you to go look at the Florida tape versus Alabama. Although Florida lost, but look at that tape and see what Kyle Pitts was able to do when Surtain was sitting there saying, "Okay, let me get a piece of him, boss. Let me take some. You know, let me figure out what I can do with him." All I can say is 7 receptions, 129 yards, and could have been 2 tubs, but it was actually just 1. But it's a story of a different day. Just take a look at the tape. You don't have to take my word for it. You know, just pull up the tape, or you can go to YouTube. I believe it's on YouTube. Don't watch the cut-ups. Just watch the full game so you can understand what all happened. And then you'll sit back and say, man, either Kyle Pitts is second world best ever thing since sliced bread, or Surtain is not it, or J.C. Horn is just everything. You know, you're going to come up with some type of conclusion like that. But let's listen to more of what they have to say.
It was gum on Kyle Pitts' shoe. He couldn't get him off. That's it. But J.C. Horn, again, keep an eye. Dan Quinn and Will Muschamp, best friends. This could be a connection here for the Cowboys right there on that.
All righty. Is that all on our drafted players then that you'd like to share with us, Brian?
With Surtain, everybody's fallen in love with him because of the family background. They think he's the most pro-ready right now to play. And so that's why a lot of people have him. And they're
just
also
so boring.
Yeah, he is
so boring.
He is
it's
a boring player.
Hey, what do you like about Surtain?
Yeah.
Well, he's always in the right place. He does the right.
Surtain, he ain't gonna talk much. Surtain Senior, who was the opposite corner next to him, right? It was somebody else that was playing next to him when he was playing in Miami. Y'all let me know. But it's one of those things where I believe at one point they was like a good combination over there in Miami land. Y'all help me out.
Right things. He's a good tackler. He doesn't really have a weakness. He's not a great athlete, but he's a decent athlete. And he's just like everything about him is just like solid. And I don't know, for some reason that's boring to me.
And then what's our takeaway on Horn again?
The takeaway is very positive, but it's positive in a way that the connection between his coach at South Carolina could sway Dan Quinn into taking that type of a player. He'll be able to explain all the ins and outs of the kid and stuff like that. So,
but here's the thing though, Brian Brothers and everybody, you know, Quinn can have all of the answers in the world. He can be banging the table, Hawk smash. You know, he be Hawk smashing the table. But the reality of it is that it's not up to him. It's not up to him. It's up to Jerry, Juan, Jones, and John, Stephen Jones. You got to convince those two. And, of course, just maybe Will McClay and Chris Hall. Those are a lot of people that you got to convince out there to say, okay, this will be the kid. And, damn it, your year one, you better be right on him, too. Because as soon as that dude do anything crazy, they going to be looking at you with the snake eyes. They're going to be like, look, man, what's going on, fam? You said that he was the one. You said that he was the one, right? So he better be that. He better be that dog. But let's listen to more what they have to say about this.
So keep an eye on that possibility right there.
Well, that is a great look into the three corners that if you're a draft person and a Cowboys fan, you need to be familiar with as that draft approach is coming up at the end of the month. And Broadus has also harvested some broadcast gold for you on a free agent defensive back, the safety, DeMonte Kazee.
Kazee.
He played with the Falcons last year, right?
Yeah, 4 years, 27 years old, San Diego State is a
Just like Jay-Z, I'm going to say Kazee. That's the better way, but because I don't know why I be getting Kazee in here. You know, my native tongue, that Natchez, Mississippi talk, y'all know how they go. But Kazee, like Jay-Z. I think that Kazee is going to come over here tomorrow and he's going to get signed. He's not even going to be able to leave the building if he get a healthy report. Because I don't see any other team that's going to look at him because he's coming off the injury situation and he would have to learn a whole new system and all of those things. He just knows too many people. He knows Joe Witt. He knows Quinn. And then it's Dallas, for crying out loud. Where they going to take him at? For all of the Dallas natives out there, we're going to take him to Deep Ellum. Where they going to take them to, you know? What's some nice little spots and lounges out here that's pandemic free and all of that stuff? And, you know, that thing is still out there. And I hope the weather's right because it's starting to storming outside right now. But they might take him somewhere in Frisco along the facility will speak for itself. And he's going to be like, well, dog, you know, I like Neil. That's my boy. Oh, man, I got Quinn. I got Joe Witt. Man, let's make this thing happen. Let's make this thing shake.
Corner. Okay, gang of 7 comments. You ready?
Yeah.
Like him. He was very physical ball hawk his first 3 years. He came into the past year not trying to get hurt. His effort and toughness dropped off. Mm-hmm. Was really disappointing in that regard. He tears his Achilles, tough to come back from. He's about 180 pounds.
175.
Right now. Good range. Above average speed, good instinct, was around the ball over and over on overthrows. He's a playmaker. He was borderline reckless, would throw his body all over the place, hitter, but not a tackler. Then all that stopped his contract year. So prior to his...
Tried to make a business decision.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that Xavier Woods did, believe it or not. And I'm going to tell kids right now, man, if you plan, like for all of those kids right now that you guys is listening, and you see your senior year and you plan and you just trying to just make it through, you got some options out there. Hey, don't just play through the echoes of the whistle, man. Put it in God's hand, man. Don't try to put it in your heart, in your hand. Play smart, eat right. Don't try to be hesitant, man, especially even if it's your senior year in college. Play through the echoes, through the whistle, man. Go in on it, man. Play like you got nothing left in you, because the moment you let up, the moment you slack, that's when you get injured, you know. And play selfish. Don't try to help people up all the time. You hit them, you lay them out, you keep it moving. Keep your mind clear. Don't try to be this Mr. Nice Guy and these sorts of things, because this world is an exact replication of what can go on on the football field. It doesn't care about you. This world will chew you up and spit you out. Look, if you don't pay your light bill and your water bill, they'll cut lights off at the church. They would turn the water off cleanly. If a church house can't pay his water bill, the company is going to turn the water off. Hey, sorry, New Jerusalem Missionary Church, you didn't pay your light bill. We cutting the lights off. You didn't pay your water bill. We shutting the water down. Yeah, so Cowboy Nation and everybody that's listening, those are just my words and my advice. You can do whatever you want to do with it. But see, just like this kid, he hurt himself. Hey, and then Xavier Woods, come on, man. You look at his tape, you can see that the kid was not giving full effort. I mean, year before that, yeah, he didn't get a gang of interceptions. The ball hit him in the hand, but at least he was trying. Oh, man, I'm just going to leave Xavier Woods alone. Shout out to him because I love the kid. He's from Louisiana Tech. He went right down the street. You know, Louisiana Tech, man, is real close to people that live in Mississippi, that graduated from Natchez and these sorts of things. I know a gang of people that went there. But man, you can't play it too safe out there like that. And I think that's how Tristan Hill got injured, I believe. He was literally trying to help somebody up, and somebody rolled up on him. So, and I'm not trying to say be cruel out there. You just kick them while the person is down, but just make your play and get out the way.
I think
still
so.
Didn't work out.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Prior to his injury, he didn't really take care of himself. He just wanted to play ball. I would say that he's probably recovered, and he will be hungry.
Yeah.
Torn Achilles, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one to project how good he's even going to be and how much of that explosiveness. He was already just 5'11", 174 was his listed weight.
I mean, if he's 174, that Achilles doesn't have to support much, Gavin.
Okay,
all right, I'll wait there.
Hey, that's the brighter side of things.
Here's another thought about him. Really like this guy. Love how he plays. Tough as hell and flies around with urgency, great ball skills, and instinctive. You could play him at free safety. You could play him at nickel. Just wish he was bigger and had a better top-end speed, but a damn good football player. Reminds me of Quandre Diggs, is what this guy said.
So why isn't there a big market for him? Why are they
174 pounds, man. And I believe that they're being generous on that. And I'm not trying to talk about the kid. Yeah, he can probably eat a sandwich right about now and get a little bit bigger. But, at 174 pounds, and I think Elijah Elliott still have possession of his soul when he ran over the young kid right in the red zone, money zone, green zone. So he might be coming to Dallas to talk to Ezekiel Elliott, because I think Ezekiel Elliott is still in Cabo. If he's in Dallas, he need to go visit Ezekiel Elliott and say, hey, man, can I get my soul back, man? Because you really took my soul from me, man. Come on, man. Give me my soul back.
Cowboys being linked to them with their $0 in free agency that they're going to spend?
Probably because of the hurt player situation. He's a little bit undersized for the position as well. And
did you say not overly fast as well?
They said that the speed was, let me go back on that, Jeff. I don't want to misquote on that.
Just because I think that would make
above average speed.
Okay, so that's good enough. But not hyper athletic, small, hurt.
Yeah.
That'll get your price down a little bit.
Yeah, my last guy said he got hurt last year, though, as you know. Good player, versatile, free safety to nickel, instinctive, good coverage, good ball skills, small, average tackler.
All righty.
So those are some thoughts from the gang of 7. With Caleb Farley.
Yeah, that was Brian Broadus, man. Wonderful piece there from 105.3 The Fan. That was the end of that interview there, or a little excerpt that they had on their website. Just go to radio.com, 105.3 The Fan.
O'Neal,
Yeah, so go to their website there and check them out. They got some good stuff there, Cowboy Nation. So my thing is, we just need to figure out what these guys are going to do, especially heading into the 2021 season. I just want them to compete. I want them to compete. And I feel kind of crazy when I say this, but it's the actual truth. They wasted a full year of Reggie Robinson, right? We don't know whether or not he's going to be a safety, a free safety. That they said that they put him back at a cornerback, but we don't have a lot of tape on the brother, right? And I think that all of last year, wasted snaps for Rashard Robinson. Is he still on his team? Y'all help me out, put it in the comment box. But I think that those snaps would have been valuable for, dare I say, a Reggie Robinson. So those are things. And then Bradley Anai. All of those snaps, man, could have been for Bradley Anai, even on the edge. If you guys don't look at it like bring in a person, but work with that person to be on the field. If you really value that person, because I don't like bringing in people and then it's sullies and denigrate the person that you really drafted or somebody that you don't give a chance to play. And then it gets to the year 3, year 4, you just still don't know who you got. Truth be told, and I'm not being negative, and I'm not being a Debbie Downer, but we still don't know who Tristan Hill is. We don't. We don't know who Tristan Hill is. We don't know if he can play a full 17 weeks now. We don't know whether or not he can hold himself down as it relates to being an interior defensive guy. So now it's just like, okay. And then he don't have any sponsors in the building, right? Pat P says, pay Aldon Smith. Hey, I'm going back and forth with a lot of people right now. A lot of people saying, hey, he was overrated, right? A lot of people saying that he sucked. He's not who we think he is, and these sorts of things about Aldon Smith. And of course, they say, man, he started off hyped, did his thing. Then he did the Casper the Friendly Ghost stuff. He disappeared. Well, newsflash, the kid didn't play football in 5 years. Not 4, not 3, not 2, not 1. 5 years. Put on some pads without training camp. No OTAs. Didn't beg nor complain. Didn't cry, didn't moan. I'm trying to keep it PG-13. Didn't be, y'all know what I'm talking about. And his production level was still great. But people wanted 15 sacks. People wanted 20 sacks. People wanted 10 sacks from the brother. And then when you turn on the tape, you can literally see he had at least 8 sacks, not 8 to 9 sacks out there. 8 to 9. 8 to 9 of them. But the other people ate from it because Justin Hamilton, fraction of a second, was there a little bit earlier. Oh, he freed up space for Nivell Gallimore to get there. And people had the nerve and the audacity to say, well, he's bad against and horrible against the run. Where? I love when people say this and that, then they don't produce any evidence. There's no tape out there that they can pull out and say, okay, this was the play. He only gave 50. He only gave 40% here. Pull the tape out then, right? Because if this guy was doing that, then what the hell D-Law was doing? What the hell Randy Gregory was doing? What the hell everybody else was doing? Let's stop pointing the finger at one and let's bring everything to the table. Right? How come Bradley and I couldn't outperform? And if that's the case, what is your rationale of keeping Dorrance Armstrong over Aldon Smith? Where is your rationale for that? Because he's younger? I digress. People, look at the tape. Look at the complete tape. Look at the complete everything. Because we just picked up a gang of guys. Brent Urban. The Basham kid. Okay. And Carlos Watkins. And all three of those guys, level production of what they did doesn't equate to what Aldon Smith was doing. Aldon Smith had 5 years on vacation. What were their reasonings? What were their excuses? I don't see, when I look at the tape, I don't see 5 sacks last season from either of those guys. But we got to look at it like this. If the Cowboys do decide to bring him back for a cup of coffee, there's nothing wrong with drawing out a contract and put incentives on it, heavy laden it with incentives. Put it down there so whereas Daniil got an incentive-laden contract, right? Why build on something to just give it away? And on top of that, give it away for free $99. Yes, we need depth. Yeah, I see you over there, JP. Yeah, we need depth. Bring them in for depths. Any word on McCoy? That's what I'm waiting on the wording from McCoy. It could be a situation whereas they pull this thing all the way out until the end of the OTAs training camp, right when that started around. They give him a call and say, hey dog, come on down, man. come on over and see what you can do for us. They could sign him after week 1. Veteran contracts don't have to be guaranteed after week 1. Appreciate you, Jeremy. Appreciate you jumping in. Thank you so much. Y'all the truth. Appreciate you, the truth. McCoy is a liability. Yeah. My thing is, and shout out to you, Akeem, my thing is with all of this, we got to look at it accurately and say, all right, if we bringing in a guy, the most thing that we want him to become, especially all of these guys that's long in the tooth, because we don't want to have a team full of old guys, right? If that's the situation. But make them bridge guys. Let them be that bridge. I think, just hear me out, Cowboy Nation. I think the world of Randy Gregory. I believe Randy Gregory will have a fantastic year. He don't have to be worrying about whether or not the NFL is going to suspend him because he decided to do something with a plant, right? He don't have to have that in the back of his mind, his psyche, right? He can blaze, he can blaze as much as he want right now. And I think there's still some repercussion. I think there's just a little fine that they give players when they find the stuff in your system now. But it's a whole lot better than what it used to be of suspending a player. These guys get full training camp. These guys get full. And Lewis says now we have Quinn. Oh, my goodness. Quinn is a guy that can help out these front four. And it won't be 1 week we're going to just focus in. Remember this right here, Cowboy Nation, when the players were begging, saying, hey, can I just put my hand on the dirt? And the coach was like, no, you're going to stand up. We're going to make this hybrid style of defense. No, you're going to stand up. And then the coach decided to say, hey, nah, you can put your hand in the dirt. No, we're going to flip back to 4-3 principles. As an alpha male, you never do that. You don't take lessons or notes from your troops like that. You say, hey, this is my philosophy. This is what we're going to do. Like it or love it or hate it. It's my way or the highway. I'm the dog in the house, right? I'm the big dog. But the moment you show any inch of weakness, they're going to run all over you. Like I said, I love the movie. I love to bring up movies. There's this movie Samuel L. Jackson played in it, not The Snakes on a Plane, but it was based off a true story. Based off a true story. Coach Carter. One of the players that was like the MVP of the previous season of the team, the guy that had it all, right? He tried to challenge Coach. Coach was like, basically, it's my way or the highway. And they said, hold on, he was our best scorer. So what? It's my program now. And if he want to get back on this team, if he really want to play on this team, then he got to abide to my rulings, to abide to what I got on the table. It is what it is. Those are realities of it, man. And I can't make this stuff up. You can't pacify these grown men out here and expect something to happen out there on the field. You got to set the tone. You got to stay firm on something, or you will what? Fall for anything, right? No, I ain't gonna listen to no more of this. All right, Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate you guys for being part of this thing. My thing is, yes, they are right with it, like the Earl Thomas assessment, but let's move on. Let's look into this draft and see if you can get somebody that can bring some energy to this team, and as well as learn behind Kazee, learn behind the Donovan Wilson, or if we have a Malik Hooker, let's see if they can learn behind that type of situation. But, other teams are trying to do what they're trying to do to improve their teams. And it's not a lot of politics in it, how it goes from here. Let me see, let me pull this team up. Let me see if I can do it this way. Give me 1 second. Let me see, save images. Let me go, bam, bam, bam. Shouldn't take me that long. Appreciate you guys for your patience here. Let me see if I can pull this up on the fly. Building the plane while it's in the air. Yep, it happened that way. Yep. So, with that being said, can y'all see that there? For a team that appears to be short on salary cap space, the Giants have accomplished quite a bit in free agency. The players signed are Adoree Jackson, okay? Y'all able to see that, right? Kenny Golladay, Kyle Rudolph, right? Ifeadi this defensive end guy, and Colin, fullback guy who can plow the way. John Ross, not Rick Ross, but John Ross. Reggie Ragland, who is, I like Reggie. Reggie Ragland, they went and got him. Devontae Booker, a running back to help spell Saquon Barkley. The Giants also got a Leonard Williams. They signed a long-term contract and re-signed defensive tackle Austin Johnson. They got out of this entire list, King says what, 2 good players out of this whole entire list? My thing is, let me tell you some guys that I really like. I like Reggie Ragland. I really love John Ross. When I look at his tape, he was in Cincinnati land. You're not going to get a lot of exposure there. But when I look at it, I say, man, just look at his tape. I looked at his tape when I was looking at Andy Dalton's tape to see what makes Andy Dalton click. And that John Ross kid was really doing a good job. It's just that he will fumble, and his hands are made of brick. But out in space, that speed is something real. If he can get that edge, he can take it to the distance. Now, Adoree Jackson, he's a kickoff return / cornerback who is crafty in a sense, and he's not the tallest or the biggest guy in the world. So I'll be really interested in seeing whether or not they're going to match him up with CeeDee Lamb or Michael Gallup or Amari Cooper. I can't wait to see that matchup. Now, on the flip side, the Kenny Golladay, he's a tall, linear type of wide receiver that can climb the ladder to pour the ball down. And one can argue that the style close to our dog over there, Michael Gallup, is similar, but he's just like a taller Gallup in a sense. But to me, you can call me biased, but I think Gallup is a little bit better. But there's a story of a different day. Kenny Golladay. My thing is also the Giants. They got this quarterback that you got to scratch your head and say, man, he will turn it over. He will turn it over. So the biggest signing to me is Leonard Williams. They lost the what's that big guy that I wanted on their team? Thomason. They lost him. But I think in a pinch, the Austin Johnson kid, he can bring in similar, some of that pushback pocket type of stuff. You'll see it when we play against them or what have you. But we'll find out, man. King says, well, if he fumbles, Donovan Wilson going to lay them both out, But speed do kills. And my thing is maybe they do an end around. You know how that thing goes. Because we had our hands full, and a lot of people fail to realize that Darius Slayton, he killed us. I ain't going to even try to hold y'all on that one. And I can't lie to kick it. That Darius guy, he's sneaky, he got subtle speed. He can line him up inside and out. And I told everybody before the game, I said, look, you got to watch out for this guy. And what makes him good is his release is just poor. Darius' release from the line is not that great. But at the top of the route, he just turns into a whole nother animal. And that's where his strong suit is, the top of his route. And now you got a guy, Kenny Golladay, that, damn it, you can't press Kenny. You can't press Kenny. So you got to play a little off on him a little bit. And he can climb the ladder at the top of his route. He can. So I don't know if this offseason, and that's using the operative word, if the young kid, Danny, can create and develop a better fade ball, then, boy, it's crazy. It's good night, Irene. So we going to have to worry about the underneath, the crossers. And, I forgot Kyle Rudolph. That's their red zone situation. They didn't really have a red zone guy. Their guy, he had hands made of parquet. The wide receiver, but a tight end there. What's his name? Y'all put his name down in the chat. He wears the number 88. Is it Ingram or something like that? Fast, elusive, quick. Let's see here. Adoree Jackson is the sleeper. He got skills. This is from Scott Cook. Yep. And then they re-signed, I believe, the guy that hurt Dak Prescott. What's his name? Y'all put his name in the chat box. Ingram. Yeah, not Ingram. Oh, Rue Lock. And they still got Sterling Shepard. They're gonna be running a relay team over there, right? So they got Sterling, who no one to sneeze at, Somebody ain't gonna make it. Somebody, look, they got Sterling, they got John, they got Kenny, they got Saquon. They got a slew of guys. And this is not me. I'm not worried of the Giants. I get that a lot. People say, oh, why are you scared of the Giants? Like, I'm not out there playing. I don't have no control of the game. I'm just calling out the game. Just like I said with the Washington team with their acquisitions, I said, man, if we don't get our stuff together, we have to have a big issue with the Washington team. And then people want to bring up the quarterback. Like, well, I saw Brad Johnson win the Super Bowl. I saw Joe Flacco and Eli won two of them. So whatever quarterback that Ryan Fitzpatrick is, I think that he's kind of similar or better than those guys. He's better than a Trent Dilfer, for crying out loud, and a Brad Johnson. And I know it's a different era, but defense win championships. I've seen Big Ben Roethlisberger win 2 of them. I've seen Big Ben, and if you look at Big Ben through the season, the year that they won the Super Bowl, and even in those Super Bowls, come on now, he wasn't elite. You don't need an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Matter of fact, as an elite as Aaron Rodgers is, he only got one more Super Bowl ring than Dak Prescott. One more Super Bowl ring than Tony Romo, right? I digress. Yeah, I think the 2019 Shepard signed a 4-year deal. Oh, wow, Ruglock. Oh, wow. Let's see. Ingram ain't hurt. Dak hurt himself. That jab was wrong. This from King. Yeah, I bet you Dak won't. I bet he won't try to stiff arm nobody no more like that. Yeah, I bet he won't do that anymore. He get the yards. He might slide him down. Now he might slide Dak. Now Dak might slide. But they should still make that tackle illegal because the way Ryan, that's his name, right? Ryan Logan. Did they re-sign him, right? The way Ryan kind of like grabbed the hold to him. To me, personally, when I look back at it, it's kind of hard to look at it because of the fact that he got his foot torn off his leg, for crying out loud. But you look at it, it was kind of like a horse collar tackle. I got 5 more minutes, man. I really appreciate you guys, man. We're going to try to rock it all the way up to 12 and get this thing going the best way possible. And our division, the NFC East, I posted a video on my Law Nation page that said, man, it's going to be a difficult one. Even the Eagles, they literally is saying that they going all the way in and trying to figure out any option, any way possible to get Deshaun Watson on their team. They trying everything they can. Excuse me. Mr. Law Nation is from Ryan. Appreciate you, man. We want to see you at the NFL draft at Cleveland and live in April the 29th. And bring your Cowboys, YouTubers, friends, and let's go. Cleveland, Ohio. I'm in Dallas right now. I know my dog Big Game James will be there. I know Mark Holmes may be there. But I got little ones, man. I'm talking about really, really little ones. And it's just us. So I don't think that I have the longitude and latitude to create time to go to Cleveland, and as well as create time to go to Oxnard. So if they open up Oxnard, I can only do one or the other. So I think I would rather be in Oxnard opposed to the draft. But I appreciate all of the invitations and people that send me stuff and say, hey, Law, man, I want to see you out there in Cleveland, But I'm not going to paint myself in a corner. What is it's March the 22nd now. So we'll see how things shake out, around that time frame. Watson is in hot water. This from Louise. Watson just made the wrong person mad. He did. You know he did. And I'm going to speak in circles here, but what Jerry said, never pee off a person with a little bit of money. And whoever he did, since all of the movie buffs out there, y'all seen the movie Enemy of the State? Movie that shot many of years ago, many moons ago. They had one of my guys on there, Will Smith. And all he did was in the lingerie store. And a guy that was, I guess, got some type of illegal tape or something and put it in his bag. Worst decision he ever made, I guess, going to that lingerie store. Enemy of the State with Gene Hackman, I believe. Gene Hackman, good movie. Good movie, man. Go watch that movie, Enemy of the State. Real good movie, man. SoCal says Oxnard better weather. Yeah, I can't wait to go there, man. Yeah. Appreciate you, man. Lewis, man. Yo, Law, do you see the Cowboys signing Gallup? Oh, yeah. Shoot. They need to sign Gallup before the season really kick off, really. They need to go ahead and have that leap of faith. Go ahead and sign them. Go ahead and sign them, and you can look at your wide receiver core. You don't have to worry about them. Yeah. Chuck says, yeah, Will Smith and Gene Hackman. And, one of my favorite parts of the movie, when he told him, hey, either you're going to be either you incredibly smart or you incredibly stupid. I love that part, man. Or when he had to blow up everything, he said, why you had to blow up this thing? Because I met you, And he said he was picking up everything. They was in his warehouse, like one of his private little bunker that Gene Hackman had, and they was leaving out of it because he had to blow the place up. And he said, go get the cat. And Will Smith had to go. He said he hate cats, but he had to go grab the cat. It was funny because he wasn't gonna let him back in that car without that cat. He loved that cat. Gene Hackman loved that cat. But that movie was really good, man. It really, really good, man. I'm gonna go watch Enemy of the State tonight. I don't ever sleep. I'm gonna go watch Enemy of the State. It's a classic. It's a good one. They don't make movies like that anymore, right? Movies that you can. And the craziest thing. The technology from that movie is pretty much they were speaking it, and we can see some of that technology to this day. Like they said, man, the satellite can read the time off your wrist. That movie was shot in 98, 99. Yeah, I mean, and they railroaded Will Smith. He was innocent. They got it hacked into his files. His credit cards wasn't working. They brought up his cheating scandal with his lady, to his wife. And she was like, man, what is going on? Yeah. They was at the point that they was trying to take away his kids and everything. And then they executed one of his lawyer lady, J Form Law. Now Dallas not signing Gallup. Dallas better trade him a third or get Orlando Brown from the Raiders. How old is Orlando Brown? He's pretty long in the tooth now, huh? So I think that Gallup was drafted in the third round, right? And if you let Gallup play throughout the entire year, and you get the resources, what he can bring to the table. And if you let him walk next year, won't he contribute to at least, depending on how he plays the next year, I guess, at least a compensatory pick of a third? So in order to get value out of Gallup, if I'm going to do any type of trade, I would at least want an upfront third or a second round draft pick, nothing less. I don't want a 4th or 5th or 6th. I don't want none of that things. Behind enemy lines. Okay, Behind Enemy Lines. Behind Enemy Lines. Who starred in that movie? Orlando Brown is 24. Who's Orlando Brown? I'm thinking Orlando Pace. Orlando Brown. Who is Orlando Brown? Huh. He's a left tackle. Okay. I don't know my tackles that well. I have to look him up. What about the kid that the Miami Dolphins released? Shouldn't he be cheaper? He's on the street. He was dancing on top of a car with his shirt off. I think his name is Wilson or something. Not young Wilson, but Wilson. Appreciate you, man. Shorter hash is not inside. Shorter hash is not a lot of outside in the NFL for any of the top DBs. Horns, let's go. Yeah, appreciate you, young Wilson, for the donation, baby. Tackle from Oklahoma. Gene Hatman and Owen Wilson, Behind Enemy Lines. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at what year that movie came out. Behind Enemy Lines. Enemy Lines. Isaiah Wilson. Yeah. Shoo. Take a flyer on him. Hell. Isaiah Wilson. Okay, it's 12:04. Man, oh my goodness. I really appreciate everybody for watching, man. Shout out to all of the people that gave us stars. I will be doing the drawing Friday on my Facebook group for those who made and gave the donation to the stars or what have you. However that program works, is digital gifts that you can give to help grow the nation. And all of the money that you guys give and donate will help me out getting better equipment, better stuff, and we will be out there in Oxnard. One of the things that I like to say is that people, I saw somebody commented and said, man, Law, man, you doing a great job, man, because I remember this room that I'm in was nothing but a naked wall behind me, right? And that's what they said, this room that I'm in, it was nothing but a naked wall. It didn't have this equipment and HD camera where you guys can see the sweat coming off my nose and my eyes, and y'all can see the follicles, y'all can see my beard grow. I really appreciate that, and that's all through the power of the people. I really appreciate you all. I really, really, really do, Cowboy Nation, and this would not be possible without you. I'm telling you guys, y'all are my therapy, because normally, I'm so crazy, I'll be talking to myself. Before I was doing YouTube, I would sit there and just watch tons and tons of Cowboys footage. I've been on YouTube watching all of the highlights from the glory days and some of the last year tape, and just never thought to just put it to paper or put it to a camera and put it to the tangible things. That's why I'm on multiple platforms, multiple networks, man. And I'm insane about these Cowboys. I'm crazy about these Cowboys. I love these Cowboys, man. And I want what's best for them. It came out in 2001. Appreciate you, SoCal. I'm gonna go watch that Behind Enemy Lines. I probably already watched it, but will do, man. Hey, and y'all watch The Little Things, starring Denzel Washington. That was a really good movie. Really good movie. Go watch that movie. It's a really good one. What's another good one on? I think I saw one on Netflix. It was really, really, really good. It was a really good movie. Dang it, the name is the tip of my tongue. Man, as soon as I get that movie mind in my head, man. But let's continue to grind, Cowboy Nation. Yeah. Really appreciate you guys. Let's continue to find a way to grind, to shine. Let's go. I bet you that movie gonna come to my mind on my way out. Appreciate you, Scott Cook. Shout out to you, Bama fan. This video will also be re-uploaded to the Law Nation page. You gotta keep the oil flowing. So if you on that late night shift, the graveyard shift, you'll see this episode again. It'll be premiering. It won't be live, but you guys know how this thing goes. They say a prize fighter, even when he's down, he's continuing to swing blows. He's sitting there saying to himself, I'm going to still fight. I'm going to still fight regardless. Yeah. Come on. Turn me up. Come on. Ain't no party like a Law Nation party. Ain't no party like a cowboy party. Come on. Cause a cowboy party don't stop. Yeah. Come on. Y'all see the merch, man. Y'all can support the nation by going to Law Nation store and purchasing one of the merch, right? Yeah. Come on. Oh, man. Tony, you the man. Tony. $199 for your mind, Young Wilson. We gonna rock out to Nick the Kid too. Come on. Hey, I like how that thing just down. That beat go down like that. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Shout out time to everybody that's out here. Chuck, Devin, Force, appreciate you. Jay Black in the house. Watch how that beat come in. Kick it in. Hey. Come on. Hey. On your way out, y'all be sure to hit that like button. Share this content. Let a friend, neighbor, foe know. The Uncle Charles says so. Hit that like, share this thing. Sharing is caring. Still got chances to contribute to the stars on the Facebook page. I think the cheapest star is like 99 cents or less. A dime for your mind. Let's go. Turn me up. Jay Black. Go Joe. Go, Joe. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Joe. Gracia. Appreciate you. We out.
Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on blinking, she freeze. Photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please, no photos. Hit the door and the doorman just whole team here might need some. Still young, but I move like a new deal to my lawyer. If you're down in my management, I'm just warming up a way till I old producers saw the numbers one. Different colors in my baggy light. Chalk it up, talk of the town where you're talking up. Wanna get you a ring and you tough enough. Wanna get you new things with your pockets dull. Run it up. I used to be quiet and out of luck. Now I move up and move humble cause the hate and the jealousy. My mama telling me count up your blessings and run it up. Nowadays nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on blinging, she freeze. Photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please, no photos. I keep giving game away. I put game on layaway. I got paid to play today. I get paid to stay away. I get paid on rainy days. I might make it rain today. I got paid off pain today. Thought it'd take the pain away. In my own lane, finger roll. I would never sell my only soul. Heard your whole team was for sale. Heard it's on the market for the low. Who the realest, we might never know. All this acting, you gon' play a role. Give you the world when they sign you up. Try you out and then they line you up. Ooh, now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching, need some food. Now you're all on live acting surprised, but you need some. Boy, get out the way, it's been a day, now you're old news. Now you got the pen and pad, you're trying to take my moves. Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on blinging, she freeze. Photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please, no photos. Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I
And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. We out.